The humid savanna afternoon felt heavy, the kind of heat that stuck to the skin and refused to let go. Outside, ancient oak trees drooped under curtains of Spanish moss, while inside the lamplight diner, ceiling fans turned lazily, barely pushing the warm air around. The diner smelled of old coffee, grilled onions, and sugar, comforting yet stale. It was quiet, caught between the lunch rush and dinner crowd. Vera Hayes, a 24-year-old waitress nearing the end of a double shift, wiped down a table with tired hands. Her blue uniform was wrinkled, her sneakers worn thin, and exhaustion sat deep in her bones. But her fatigue wasn't just physical, it was fear. Every few minutes, her eyes darted beneath the counter, where a wicker basket sat hidden beside her purse. A faint whimper slipped out. Vera froze, then crouched slightly, pretending to adjust napkins. Inside the basket, a tiny German shepherd puppy trembled. "Shoo, Valor," she whispered softly. "Just a little longer." Valor was only 2 months old and dangerously sick with kennel cough. The vet had warned her he needed constant monitoring. Missing work wasn't an option, she needed the money for his treatment. So she broke the rules and brought him with her. At the counter sat a quiet man in a gray t-shirt and jeans. Adam Walker watched calmly over the rim of his coffee mug. He wasn't local. He was on short leave from active duty, trying to disappear into anonymity for a few days. Still, his eyes missed nothing. He noticed Vera's exhaustion, her tension, and the way she kept glancing under the counter. He didn't judge, he recognized resilience when he saw it. Their brief eye contact ended when the diner door chimed sharply. The couple who entered commanded attention without asking for it. Bryce Vandermeer carried the lazy confidence of generational wealth, his expensive watch glinting under the lights. On his arm was Tinsley Croft, flawless and impatient, scanning the diner with visible disgust. "A booth? By the window," Tinsley snapped. "And check the seat. I don't want it sticky." Vera forced a polite smile and led them over. From the start, nothing pleased Tinsley. The water was wrong. The lime was sliced, not wedged. The salad order came with endless demands. Bryce barely looked up from his phone. Vera wrote everything down, jaw tight, and escaped to the kitchen. When she returned with drinks, tension hung thick in the air. As Vera set down Tinsley's soda, Tinsley waved her hand dramatically while complaining, and knocked the glass over. Cola spilled across the table and soaked her white dress. Silence fell. Tinsley stared at the stain, then at Vera, rage igniting in her eyes. "You idiot," she hissed. "Look what you did." Vera rushed forward with napkins, her hands shaking. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. It was an accident. Let me get a cloth." Tinsley slapped her. The sound cracked through the diner, sharp and shocking. Vera's head snapped to the side as pain burned across her cheek. At that same moment, terrified yelps burst from beneath the counter. The wicker basket shook as Valor cried out. Tinsley recoiled in disgust. "What is that noise?" Bryce finally paid attention. He stepped forward, peering behind the counter. "Is that a dog?" he sneered. "You brought a filthy animal in here?" Vera's heart dropped. She saw the look in his eyes, cruel, careless. He lifted his foot toward the basket. "No!" Vera screamed. She threw herself over the wicker basket, curling her body protectively around her puppy. "Please, he's just a baby. He's sick." Bryce didn't hesitate. His expensive loafer slammed into her ribs. The impact knocked the air from her lungs, pain exploding through her side as she collapsed over the basket. Bryce drew his leg back for another kick. He never landed it. Adam Walker was there in an instant. He intercepted Bryce's leg mid-swing and twisted, using controlled force and flawless technique. In one smooth motion, he wrenched Bryce's arm into a lock and slammed him chest first into the counter. "You've made a mistake," Adam said calmly, his voice flat and deadly quiet. The diner froze. The cook stopped moving. Other customers stared in disbelief. Tinsley screamed. "Do you know who we are? My father is Judge Croft. You're finished?" Adam ignored her. Without releasing Bryce, he pulled out his phone and began recording, capturing Bryce pinned, Tinsley screaming, and Vera struggling to sit up while clutching her puppy. Then Adam called 911. "This is Sergeant Walker," he said evenly. "I'm witnessing an assault on a female employee and animal cruelty. The suspect is restrained." Police arrived quickly. Officer Riley, older and tired-looking, immediately recognized Bryce. His tone softened. "Mr. Vandermeer, are you all right?" Adam stiffened. "This man assaulted her," Adam said. "Then kicked her while she was protecting her dog." Tinsley protested loudly, twisting the story. Riley seemed inclined to believe her. until Adam calmly opened his wallet and revealed his Navy SEAL identification. Everything changed. The younger officer, Kent, straightened immediately. Riley swallowed. Statements were taken. Photos were snapped of Vera's bruises. Bryce and Tinsley were released pending investigation, but Adam stayed until Vera was safe. That night Vera didn't sleep. Her ribs throbbed. Valor coughed softly in her lap. By morning retaliation arrived. She was fired for a health violation. Then an eviction notice appeared on her door, 72 hours. The Vandermeers had begun closing in. Vera sat on her small sofa, staring at the eviction notice when a knock echoed through her apartment. Her heart raced. It was Adam. He stood calmly, holding coffee and a bag of puppy food. "I figured you could use this," he said. Vera broke down. She told him everything, the firing, the eviction, the threats. Adam listened silently, his jaw tightening. "I escalated things," he said finally. "That made you a target. I won't leave you exposed." Hours later, two sharply dressed lawyers arrived, offering $50,000 and a non-disclosure agreement. Vera hesitated, until they threatened to call animal control and have Valor euthanized. That was when Adam stepped in. "You're committing extortion," he said coldly. "And I'm recording." The lawyers retreated, but Adam knew they wouldn't stop. He moved Vera and Valor to a secure high-rise safe house owned by a private security firm run by his former teammate, Marcus. Still, the intimidation continued. At a quiet dog park one morning, Bryce appeared in his red sports car, revving the engine to terrorize them. Adam recorded everything. When they tried to report it, the police chief dismissed it outright. The corruption was open now. That's when Adam made a call he never wanted to make. NCIS arrived. Special Agent Hayes took over with surgical precision. Vera was officially labeled a federal witness. Evidence was collected: videos, termination notices, eviction papers. Tinsley cracked under pressure and secretly recorded Bryce bragging about owning the police. The FBI joined in. A sting was set. Tinsley lured Bryce to a hotel under surveillance. He arrived with a corrupt officer, discussing fixing the problem. Federal agents swarmed. Bryce was arrested. The officer was arrested. Warrants followed for the judge, the police chief, and the family's entire network. The city's power structure collapsed overnight. News headlines exploded across Savannah. Corruption charges. Federal investigations. High-profile arrests. Vera watched from the safe house, holding Valor as agents packed up equipment. For the first time in days she could breathe. Agent Hayes approached her. "You're safe now." Charges were filed. The diner rehired Vera publicly. The eviction was voided. Donations poured in after the story went viral. Adam prepared to leave. On his final morning, Vera walked him to the door. "I don't know how to thank you," she said softly. Adam looked down at Valor, now healthy and alert. "You protected him," he replied. "I just returned the favor." As Adam walked away, sirens echoed faintly in the distance. Not threats this time, but justice catching up. Vera closed the door behind her, sunlight spilling across the floor. Valor wagged his tail. For the first time since that terrible day, the world felt fair again.